First of all, a couple introductions. We have two of our friends from the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame in the house tonight. They come every year and are well represented. President Jack Tanney and his son Sam are over here to our left. November 4th is the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame. Our next speaker is the young lady to my left, and if you look at the board of directors in your program, she's the one that tries and does a great job of keeping that group in line. So without further ado, please welcome Jenny Thunberg, our president of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Welcome everyone here tonight. I'm not going to spend a lot of time at the microphone because we all know that you didn't come here to listen to me. You came here to honor your family, friends, whoever it is you're here to be here for tonight. But a lot of people ask me why I stay involved in the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. And you know, I've been involved in athletics in Bay County pretty much my whole life. And I know that this community supports their teams and they love sports as much as any community that I've ever noticed. And that's why I love coming back to this, to see this big group of people here from St. Joseph tonight. You know, we have 10 tables full of people that have come back some 60 plus years to be here this evening. I think that's a tribute to our community and the sports tradition that we have here. You know, and as far as my career, you know, I was joking back there. I said my claim to fame is I was like fourth string behind Kelly in high school. So to see her inducted tonight, I think that means like I'm fourth string inductee in this Hall of Fame. So it's just really cool to be here and be part of this and see all the awesome athletes, and some that I was lucky enough to play with and others that I was, you know, watching when I was growing up. And I just think that the tradition in this community is amazing, and I'm very proud to be part of this year in and year out. So thank you for all of you for coming out tonight, and congratulations to all of our inductees, and I look forward to a great evening here.
Thank you, Jenny. Couple other things. How about a big hand? This is just a great place to hold a banquet here at the Doubletree. So how about a big hand for the Doubletree and the staff and what they do for us on a yearly basis. Also, if you could just take a quick look into your program on page 2 and page 37. It's time for the glasses. We started something this year, a new program by the board of directors for local businesses to get into our scholarship fund. So we want to thank Dr. Behan and Globe Fire for chipping in and helping us with our scholarships this year. So if any of you have a business or any of you want to get involved in this program, you may contact Jenny Thunberg, our president, and our vice president, Dan McAvoy. Those are the ones that you need to contact. And you can see by those ads, we get nice ads. And I also want to say thank you to the Bay Area ISD Print Shop for printing our programs this year. So thanks to the Bay Area ISD Print Shop. Thanks so much. Okay. Well, let's get started. We'll be out of here by 10:30 and everybody will be home and yeah. 7:32 is the goal. So if I don't get there, you know why. Our first award tonight is what we call the President's Award. With the President's Award, what that is an award given to a person that exemplifies on and off the court, great things behind the scenes, in front of the TV camera, on the radio, refereeing, or doing all sorts of good things within our community. And I can tell you this, nobody I know fits that award, the President Award, than the golden voice of Bay County athletics, than Jeff Doan. Since the Yep. Since the day Jeff was born, it was instilled in him by his parents, Nate and Mary Idadone, who we all like to call Super Grammy, to take a little and give a lot back. Jeff has a passion for Bay City and Bay County everything that is second to none. Jeff is a 1978 graduate of Bay City Handy, and 2 years after that, he was the voice of Handy football and basketball. He's been part of the initial Bay 3 TV broadcast team, and he announced for Bay City Public School sports for over 10 years. He also played softball in Bay City and Bay County for 20 years, and he gave that up to become a slow pitch umpire, and in 1986 he umpired a state championship game. In 1995, 97.3 Wixie came a-calling, his next broadcast station, and he sat next to Dave Shore for 3 years while announcing games for Wixie. When Jeff left Wixie, he spent, I should know this by heart, I should know this by heart. He spent 18 years up at WKJC in East Tawas, doing games in Northeast Michigan, and when Tim Herrick called him, said, Jeff, you got to come up to WKJC. Jeff left, and it was the best thing that ever happened to WKJC. In 2003, Jeff started officiating high school basketball and football games, and he still continues that to today. Jeff is also involved with his church, been on the board of directors for 30 years, and he is the vice president of the Nate and Mary Idadone Santa Foundation. Jeff is continually working and continues to work as a play-by-play broadcaster for Bay County TV, and he has hosted the Bay City Fireworks Telethon for 30 years and is part of the St. Patrick's Day broadcast team for the last 10. And on a personal note, I have sat next to Jeff for about, the last 25 years. And it's a privilege and an honor to watch and listen to him grow as an announcer, a referee, and an ambassador for Bay City and Bay County. It gives me great privilege to welcome the 2018 President Award winner for the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, Jeff Doan.
Thank you. OJ told me I needed to keep it brief tonight, so thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that won't happen again. I am truly honored to be standing up here tonight with all my friends. And I know why. When I talked to Nigel, they said they're going to save the best for last tonight. So it's truly fun as I look back how my life started, the great influence that I had growing up with my mom and dad. You do not find two better people in your life to build your life around than the positive example that they set each and every day. From the time I was old enough to go potty all by myself in a big boy potty, I got to go to Central, where my dad worked, as he chaperoned buses. He was there at the gate, and he treated everybody that came through that gate with great respect, put a smile on their face, and I thought, wow, this is cool. This is what I want to be when I grow up. And when it's all said and done, if I can be half the person that my dad was, my life will be complete. As I look at the PA that I started to do at Handy after I got out of high school, I joined a group called Handy Red Pride Association. That showed me the love of the people that support student athletes and all that they do behind the scenes, and I was proud to be a member of them for 10 years. I was asked to do Bay City Brahma football. Well, the first year that I did Bay City Brahma football, they brought a team in from Minsk, Russia. So I show up and I do the game. Didn't really prepare for the game because I was certain that it was going to just be fine. After the first play of the game, when I looked down at the program, realized there were 40 people from Russia and I couldn't pronounce one of their names. I said, I think at that point, I need to be prepared. So that certainly in life taught me the preparation. I had 2 years off from broadcasting. My nephew was at All Saints, so I thought, I'm going to go help with the football program. So I got a half a dozen kids. I lifted with them daily. Got to watch Jeff Beisel and Mike Deming. And they were just two great influences. And then WKJC came calling. And I worked with All Saints grad Tim Herrick for a few years. For another guy named Gwiz stepped up to the plate and said, this looks like fun. And we had probably the last 15 years of that together. Through the fireworks telethons, I worked with a great person named Gwiz. Through all the other ventures that I had in life, I've had with a person named Gwiz. To stand up here today, I only feel half honored because I wouldn't be the person that I am today without Gwiz. So I want to bring my boy up, Gwiz, to end my evening. Come on.
Thank you.
I did have one other quick note that I forgot. I was doing the Bay 3 TV with Tom Merkel back in the day. And I said, Tom, we're up here in this old press box at Western. The wind was blowing in that thing. If you were in the old press box, it blew. So I said, let's go down in the field and catch the sights and the sounds and the smell of the game. So he and I walked down there. Dearborn Edsel Ford was the opponent for the night. And I said to him, wow, this is great. The next thing I knew, I took a football overthrow short hop right into the groin. And Tom said to me, how's it feel? Don't rub it. Thank you very much for this great honor.
Jeff, congratulations. Like I said, it's been an honor and a privilege sitting to your right or left for the last 25 years, and hopefully we can keep that train rolling. Okay, if we could at this time have our individual inductees come up forward to our front table and sit in behind your plaque. So can we have the inductees, please? All right, we're ready to go. Let's take a seat, and I don't know what I'm doing up here. This is a great group. Oh, it's like I don't belong. Okay, our first inductee tonight, everybody, is a fellow from Pinconning area schools. And when you ask the folks of Pinconning who is the face of Pinny baseball as a player and as a coach, they'll all say Rick Rudrow. As a player, he stood 6'2" and went 200 pounds with a wicked arm and an outstanding bat. In Rudrow's freshman year, up on the varsity, he hit for the cycle. And Coach Ken Fagan told him, well, son, I don't think you'll be playing on the JV team anymore. His senior season, Rick threw a two-hitter with 10 Ks in the district win over the Ascota Owls. And in the regional win over Wyoming Rogers, he struck out 15 batters. And in the state finals of 1971, struck out 5, and the Spartans finished runner-up to Detroit Lutheran West. Rick took his awesome game to Genesee Community College, which is now Mott, where he helped his team to a 4th place finish in the national tournament. Rick also spent some time in the minors with the Milwaukee team, Kansas City, and Philadelphia. And due to an injury, he had to get out of playing, but that's when he started his coaching career. Rick coached for 21 years, and he was an old school type of coach, but he cared very deeply for his players. He He had a great passion for his players and baseball, but his love of the Pinconning Spartans burned even hotter. His attention to details and being prepared showed in his final 20 seasons, Penny did not have a losing season. Coach had many All-Staters and college players, and he took his team to the Final Four in 2005 and a state runner-up in 1999. When Coach finished and when he retired, he led Pinconning to a 485 and 197 record. 12 league championships, 11 district titles, 4 regional wins, and in 2002 he was inducted into the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame. Everybody, if you would please welcome Pinconning's own Rick Rudwell to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you for a great honor. This has been a nice night, and it's just getting better. And thanks to all my colleagues for coming in the same time I am. This is great. Good job, committee. Everything looks like it goes really smooth. And I probably shouldn't be here today, but I am. So just looking back when I played, baseball was everything to me. It is still today. I want to thank my wife, my daughters. They're here. My wife always used to say during baseball season you'd have to put an X on my forehead and walk in the door so she knew who I was. So, but she gave up a lot. My daughters gave up a lot. We were on the road a lot. I know kids today, they were talking about playing a lot of ball games in the summer. When I graduated from high school, I played 176 ball games that summer. So I played on 4 different teams, and I traveled and traveled, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was great. My coaching days, the kids in Pinconning, they try so hard all the time. And one other thing, before I go too far, there's a couple umpires here that worked a lot of our games, and I just want to say I'm sorry. I know that you guys took some flack, but hey, I was right all the time anyway. So. It wasn't like I was ever wrong, you guys. I mean, Bob Adamowski, he knows, Tom Baird, whoever else is in this room that probably doesn't want to identify themselves, but it was a great time. Coaching, I was going to coach for 1 year because my high school baseball coach asked me to, and they didn't have anybody else in line. I said I'd try it for a year, and I stayed 21. So it's a passion that I've always had, and it's a passion that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. Great kids in Pinconning. Baseball in Bay County is fantastic in your high school ranks. It's fantastic. We've got state championships coming out of Bay City. We've got regional championships. You know, the kids that we have in this area, and the coaches especially, have just taken the reins of these programs and just done fantastic with them. They really have. I mean, you look at the guys that are going to be in this Hall of Fame someday. They're in the Coaches Hall of Fame already. They've worked very, very hard to develop what they're developing, and it's a lot of them just reload every year, and baseball's alive and well in Bay County. Thank you again so much. This means very, very lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Congratulations. Okay, our next inductee was not afraid to get down and dirty and do all the nasty work for the All Saints Cougar softball team and the University of Toledo. Lynn Zippinger was a legend in the softball diamonds in Bay County and everywhere else she played. Lynn was raised in the south end of Bay City, played ball with her brother Ken, and played baseball in South End Little League and was on those good teams from softball teams from Essexville, Hampton. Zippy, as they like to call her, was the ace pitcher and the number 3 hitter for the Cougars, and she helped the Cougars to their first district championship. In 1987, the Cougars finished runner-up in the state that year, and it was the first of 5 consecutive appearances in the Class D state title game. Zippy helped build the future for the Cougar program. In all her years at All Saints, Lynn went 63-15, batted .362, and in basketball, she averaged 23 points a game and was all-state honors in both her senior year. Lynn moved from pitcher to catcher at the University of Toledo, and she helped the Rockets to Mid-American Conference championships and a berth in the College World Series. Lynn was also all-conference in 1991, where she batted .316 and had 30 RBIs. Toledo teammate Dawn Kellnan said it best. She was a true leader. We were a successful team, and we owe it all to Zippy. She did a little coaching as a GA at Toledo, an assistant for Hall of Fame coach Fred Neary at Saginaw Valley, and is also coaching at Bay City Western on their softball team. Lynn also played a little bit of summer softball on those great teams from John DeWise Builders and Jack's Fruit Market. Work hard, have fun, lead by example, and grow as a person. That's the way she lived her life then, and that's the way she lives it now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, Lynn Zippinger.
You'll do fine. Look at those.
I am honored and humbled to have been deemed worthy of being inducted into the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, especially when Bay County is renowned for such a rich history of softball excellence. It is a great honor to be in such distinguished ranks as those of the past Bay County Hall of Fame honorees who I have long admired and respected. A very special thank you goes out to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame Board and Committee for selecting me, and congratulations to all of this year's nominees, each of whom had made incredible athletic contributions in Bay County. Additionally, thank you to my family, coaches, mentors, and friends for always supporting me and being here tonight. Nearly 40 years ago, I was introduced to the one thing that I would fall deeply in love with, the game of softball. What began as a fun pastime of playing softball in my backyard with my brother Ken soon became the biggest part of my life. Not just a college softball opportunity, but some of the fondest family memories. As I reflect on some of those memories, I have come to appreciate how blessed I am to have been supported by my family. My parents, Bob and Janet, attended every game, even when my softball talent took me out of state. My sister Lori helped shape me into the tomboy I became when she adamantly refused to allow me to play Barbie dolls with her. As a result, I sought out my brother Ken, who always took me under his wing and would include me in whatever he was involved in. For this reason, I became one of those girls who grew up playing in the dirt, who liked to climb trees, who ran outside barefoot, who resisted wearing skirts, and who wasn't afraid to be one of the boys. Ken was the person I looked up to, the person that always found time for me, my first role model. I would come home from school and we'd play and practice until sundown in our backyard. When he wasn't available, my dad would step in and catch for me until I decided to quit. My family constantly reminded me that hard work does pay off, and that if I wanted something badly enough, I had to work for it. As far back as I can remember, I had the dream of playing at the collegiate level. And with the grace of God and a little bit of luck, I was able to make that dream come true. That dream would have never come to fruition without having in my life many incredible people who inspired me and molded me into who I am today. Those people were my coaches, Tom Clements, Bonnie Kanicki, and Brad Walraven. Thank you for pushing me to be the best I could be, especially in those times when I felt like giving up. At every turn, they wanted me to reach my fullest potential and exceed even my own expectations. In the moments I wanted to give up and quit, they were there to pick me up, offering words of wisdom and an invaluable lesson I still hold close to my heart today. In those moments and so many more, I am most thankful. Their influence goes far beyond the field, extending into relationships, work, and personal confidence. I am so grateful for the amazing team of people God put into my life. Thank you. In addition, I've been blessed to carry on my love of softball by coaching at the college level and currently at Bay City Western High School. Equally important, I've been able to share my passion and competitive spirit by coaching my two daughters, McKenna and Abby. It has been fun being able to pass on my sport knowledge and love of the game to them. However, I want both of my girls to know that they can follow my footprints, but I don't want them to feel obligated or pressured to fill my shoes. They have their own stories to write. They need to customize their own journeys to their likings. They need to live their dreams, not mine. My mission was for them to find something that lights them up, enough to call it love and passion, and if it was softball, great. However, if it wasn't, that would be great too. McKenna, I hope you realize how much joy you have given me over the years, is that I've witnessed you flourish in the game I love very much. I am super proud of you for all of your accomplishments, hard work, and dedication. Abby, I am so excited to see what the future has in store for you on the softball field. Your work ethic, drive, and love of the game excites me to no end. Furthermore, a special thank you goes out to my son Austin, who in a sense had to take a back seat due to my coaching duties. Austin never once made me feel guilty about my sport obligations. He always was patient, so understanding during my time away from home, and he even took the lead in helping out with household duties. Austin, I want you to know I love you and I appreciate the sacrifices you have made when I had to fulfill my coaching obligations. In addition, thank you goes out to my sister Lori for stepping in and being a surrogate mom for Austin in my absences. Furthermore, I want to thank my husband Jeff for continuing to support me with all my coaching endeavors. Lastly, a special thank you goes out to my in-laws, Kurt and Jan Berger, for hauling my children around to all of their sporting events, practices, as well as just being there for my family. Finally, I want to thank my two biggest fans, my dad, Bob, and my mom, Janet, who passed away in December of 2015. I sure hope my mom is looking down at me tonight with great pride and is sharing in my celebration. Both my parents supported me unconditionally since the day I started playing softball. They encouraged me to set goals and reach them, however, helped shape them based on an honest assessment of my God-given abilities and willingness to work. Softball kept my family close, long car trips, weekends away, and a subject of shared interests. My successes over the past 49 years are solely attributed to the fact that my parents always gave me the motivation and courage to soar. They taught me to dream fearlessly, they unselfishly put my needs before their own, and they are the reason I progress so well and continue to thrive as a wife, mother, sister, and in my profession. Without my parents, I would not be the person I am today. It would never have achieved the true meaning of success. In conclusion, during the course of my softball journey, I have learned that it truly takes a team for any of us to be successful. I know I could have not made it where I am today without the guidance of God, the support and love of my family, and help from many, many people. Once again, thank you.
Where's Austin? Is he here? You do windows and floors? See me after the banquet, okay? How much you charge? I need some help. Lynn, congratulations. I go back, I think you were tossing me the rock a couple times at St. Joe's Gym when I was playing for Lefty. So congratulations, Lynn. Great job. Our next inductee is an Essexville Garber football player. Bill Beador played 4 years of football at both the college and high school levels. But it was the 1 year off that made him realize how much he missed the game. He missed the practice, he missed the games, hanging out with the other fellas on the team. Bill was back on the team at Adrian, and he did make a statement, running for 800 yards and getting into the end zone, a school record 13 times, and a berth in the MIAA Division III playoffs. Bill delivered another great season in 1989, scoring 12 TDs, a second MIAA championship, two-time first-team All-MIAA, and two-time honorable mention All-American and career rushing yards of 1,673. Coach Ed Harvey called Bill the runner's package. He could bruise you inside, and he had the speed to go outside. Bill was 5'8", 180 pounds at Garber, but he played much bigger. Chris Ford said about Bill, he was brute strong and brute fast. During his 2 varsity seasons, he rushed for 2,400 yards, which is a Garber record, and he was a Class B Gold Helmet Player of the Year as a senior. In 1984, Bill took the opening kickoff back for TV for Garber, and the rest was history as Garber won 9 consecutive games, and beating Saginaw Eisenhower that year 34-0, the only team that beat Garber the year before. But due to that craziness of the playoff system back then, the Dukes did not get into the playoffs, but it was still a memorable season for all Duke fans. Bill currently lives in California with his wife Ann and his 2 boys Austin and Dakota. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bill Beador to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
I've been a police officer for a long time. I've testified at jury trials and packed courtrooms on a lot of high-profile cases with TV cameras at me, and even at work I faced a lot of tense situations. But I'm shaking like a leaf on a tree up here. Public speaking and Bill do not go well together. Don't be alarmed, my face will turn about 20 different shades of red in the next couple minutes. And Gwiz, if I pass out, just throw some Coors Light on my face and stand me back up here, man.
Got you covered.
All right. I'd like to thank the voters and the board for this great honor. I'm humbled, and there are no words I can express that on what this means to me. I played football, which is a team game. And this is about my teammates as much as it is me. I wouldn't be here without them. Congratulations to everyone sitting up here, especially Garber Duke, Coach Nesbitt. I want to thank my family and friends that are here. I won't name each one, but I want each of you to know that you're special to me, and thanks for being here. Thank you, Dakota, my son, for making the trip from California here with me and wanting to hang out with your old man. Mom and Dad, what can I say? You guys taught me right from wrong, to finish what I started, and most of all, to treat people with respect. They never missed a game. I could always look in the stands and they'd be there supporting me. Once again, here they are. 54 years of marriage next month for my mom and dad, and they are a true inspiration for my wife and I. Thank you. I've always considered myself an average athlete. I was fortunate to have been part of great football teams in high school and college. The guys I played with were amazing athletes who made me look a lot better than I actually was. In high school, Coach Harvey taught us to never quit, to keep fighting, but most of all, he taught us how to play together as a team. Each player had a job to do. If each player did his job, we would be successful. Coach Harvey told us if one player missed a block, the play would not work. I remember thinking, I think one guy could miss a block would be all right. I knew we had the X factor, and I think Coach Harvey knew it too. We had this little guy that was our fullback. I ain't never been the brightest guy in the world, but it didn't take me long how to figure out to score a touchdown for our team. Our little fullback was quick on his feet, and he was 6'3", 250 pounds. I knew all I had to do was follow him. If someone missed a block, Chris Forrett would find the guy and pummel him. Chris would then keep going, and any enemy standing would be crushed in his way. I would just then start running towards the end zone. And on my way there, guys like Pat Kateva, Dean Verhaage, Jeff Jacobs would be 20 yards downfield throwing an extra block. And just when I thought I was in the end zone, my quarterback, Kevin Spencer, come flying out of nowhere and hit the last guy. It was all about teamwork. Thank you, Coach Harvey and your staff for teaching us how to work together to become a team. In 1984, the Essexville Garber Dukes were a perfect team, 9-0. I went on to Adrian College, and there Coach Labadie carried on what Coach Harvey taught me. He also taught me something Coach Harvey didn't. He taught me life wasn't fair. It was not always fair. He taught us this because we were boys, and he was preparing us for life after college. In 4 years, Coach Labadie turned boys into young men that had the tools to be productive members of society. I graduated college and moved to Northern California. My sister was already residing there with her husband, who was in the Air Force, and they had an extra bedroom. I was young, I was happy, I had hair. I was gonna see girls in bikinis on rollerblades everywhere I went. I moved to California, did not see one girl on rollerblades, and met my wife 2 weeks after I was there. 28 years later, we're still going strong. And no, she wasn't even on rollerblades. Put myself through the police academy and was hired by the Berkeley Police Department. I worked a lot of assignments there, and from day one, I applied what I learned in sports to real life. I knew how to be a good teammate and to finish what I started. Stayed in Berkeley about 11 years, then went to work for the Vallejo Police Department. I can compare Vallejo to Flint, size-wise and crime-wise. It's a rough city that's always in the top 20 most violent cities in the country. Are there any police officers in here? If you ask any police officer what their goal is at the start of their shift, they would all say to go home at the end of it. That has been my goal at the start of every shift. I've always compared it to crossing the goal line. Some days I've had to fight, claw, and scratch my way to the end of the shift, that goal line. Some cops don't make it home. I retired from Vallejo PD last year and started a second career as a deputy sheriff with the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office in the beautiful wine country of Northern California. It was quite a change and a learning experience after retiring from Vallejo. I now actually get waved to by kids and adults with all their fingers on their hands and not just one. I still apply everything I learned from my coaches and my teammates in my everyday life. I still cross that goal line at the end of each shift, and after 27 years, I plan to keep it that way. Thank you.
Good job, Bill. Our next inductee is Tom Resler. Tom Resler has always carried himself on the golf course with a lot of class. His swing, the way he walks, the way he talks. I think Brett Goit said it best. Everything about Tom Resler says golf. He looks like a golfer, he acts like a golfer, but he has a great competitive fire. Tom is a legend around the county course. Tom has won the county championship 5 times. He's been runner-up 6 times and has competed in the championship flight at the county course in all 51 seasons since it's moved out there. He was second in 1986, and this year he finished 9th. Everybody knows Tom's love for the county tournament, and he's actually planned big events around the county tournament. Weddings and jobs and all sorts of things. Resler got hooked on the game playing for 50 cents at the Old Country Club on Euclid. He would play all day and caddy in the afternoon. At St. James, he played baseball, football, hockey, and golf. And he was the #1 golfer on the St. James team and beat all the upperclassmen. Tom got his degree in 1972 from Ferris State. In 1968, he finished second to Hall of Famer Jerry Snabel. And in 1974, he beat Tim Tobin in a 2-hole playoff to win his first county, and then he won again in 1975. He also won in 1977, 1980, and 1989. Now Tom is the premier senior player in the county, and he's won the senior division 7 times and 3-time overall champion. Tom has also been on the County Halib Cup team since it started in 2008, and he's the lone player to be on that team to do so. I think we would all agree with his granddaughter, Avery. I think Avery's here tonight, right? Avery would say, who's the best golfer in Bay City? And Avery would say, Grandpa. There she is, right over there. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, Tom Resler.
It's a great privilege to become a member of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. I would like to thank the board and everyone who voted for me. To be recognized with such great golfers as Johnny Tews, Harry Halib, Jerry Snabel, Pete Pafford, Bruce Patterson, Brent Goik, and Roy Schultz. It's a real honor. My interest in golf started when I was a caddy at the Bay City Country Club when I was 14. However, other sports took an interest: football, hockey, baseball. For example, during my junior year in high school, there was talk of starting a fall golf team. I wasn't interested. I was playing football. Gene Klocka recruited me my sophomore year in high school to play golf. And that year was my first encounter with Johnny Tews, who was assisting Gene at the time. At 16, I won my age division in the JC Junior Sectional Golf Tournament at Green Acres. Jerry Snabel also won his age division that same year. After high school, I didn't play a lot of golf. Going to college and working part-time didn't leave me much time. In the fall of 1968, the Bay County Golf Tournament was held at the current location for the first time, and then it was a 3-day event. After the first round, I was leading, but ended up finishing second. And this past year, I played in my 51st consecutive Bay County tournament, all in championship flight. My interest peaked again after college when my uncle Harry Halib, asked me to help him teach golf through Essexville Hampton, a golf adult education program. And I continued doing that for 20 years. Marriage and family doesn't leave a lot of extra time for golf, though I did manage to win 2 of my 5 Bay County championships after marrying and having 2 daughters. And here comes the granddaughter. When I turned 58, I became eligible to play in the Bay County Senior Tournament. I have 3 overall wins and 7 wins my age division. One of the other tournaments I look forward to is the Halib Cup, which for the last 11 years pits the Bay City Country Club against the Bay County team. By playing in the Halib Cup, you are competing against the best players in the area. The team format of the Halib Cup has given me the opportunity to meet so many people and make so many friendships. Golf is a sport that has stood the test of time. Starting when I was a teenager, I still enjoy the game as much today and never tire of learning everything I can about it. I love the competition and the people I've encountered along the way. Thank you. And where's she going?
Who's that ugly guy at the microphone now? Thank you, Tom. Congratulations. Our first team of the evening to be inducted into the Bay County Hall of Fame is that great squad from 1999, the Bay City All Saints Cougars softball team. The year before, the Cougars won 40 games and made the state semifinals, and Hall of Fame coach Brad Walraven knew he had something special in that team for the next year. So special, they started the year ranked #1, they finished the year #1, and never gave that spot up for the whole season. Coach Walraven said the girls were a good group, hardworking, and had a business-like attitude during the postseason. The Cougars captured their 5th straight district championship, beating 3rd-ranked Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart 15-0 in the regionals, and then slammed Bath 11-1 in the semifinals. In the championship game, they beat number 2-ranked Maple City Glen Lake 4-0. Lacey Russo fired a 4-hit shutout, and that year Lacey had a 31-3 record with a 0.62 ERA, and Kelly Martin hit a 2-run homer in the championship game to help the Cougars win. The Cougars team with names like Babcock and Bannigan, Botts, Caprathy Cherry, Ernst Martin, Pavaglio, Russo, Tchaikovsky, Werner, and Wood set a state record with 44 regular season wins that year. The mission to win the state championship was accomplished, and they stayed on top the whole time when they were making history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame the 1999 Bay City All Saints Cougars State Championship team. They get presents too. Got hats and certificate for them. Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Congratulations to all the Hall of Fame inductees here today. Jeff Doan for your award. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for choosing this well-deserved team from 1999. And thank you, Lee Thompson, for the nice article. Reading that just brought some good memories for that year. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and every year is special to me because not only do you teach the game and try to compete and win, sometimes winning isn't the most important. It's seeing how the young ladies go about in their life after high school, on to college, and after college. And last night we got together at a local establishment, and the stories came out, and I just sat back and looked and observed, and I said, I'm very proud to have coached this team. So it's special to me as a coach. I love the games, I love the competitiveness, obviously the winning, but to see the success that these young ladies have endured in their lifetime now, and it's very special to me. I want to give an extra congratulations to Lynn Berger, former player of mine, sister-in-law of mine, and to watch her mature as an adult and now married, 3 kids, and giving back to the game that she had the love for as a high school coach and a travel coach. Congratulations, Lynn. 1999 was very special for these young ladies, and I look back and as Mike said in that article, that in 1998 we lost a very tough game in the semifinals, but it was established at that time and the plan was laid out for this team. We won 40 ball games that year, and many of those girls were coming back. And to tell you that I wasn't excited as a coach to come back that next year, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't. We knew what we had, the coaching staff knew what we had, and you know, and the rest is history. But the hardest part for me, you would think that was been pretty easy with all the athletes that we had. We had the pitching, we had it all, from top to bottom, defensively hitting, and obviously the pitching, and it starts there. But you would have thought, oh, a piece of cake to coach. Well, we had to keep them on the right track. Not that they needed that, but for me personally, might have been my toughest year as a coach. And only because I never wanted to be thought of as a failure as a coach. Boy, he had this great team and he couldn't do anything with it. I always had that worry. And I didn't want that to happen to this team because there's some years that you say, gosh, we just let it slip away. And I didn't want that to happen. And when the final out was made, I can remember, you know, celebrating, but I had to go back to the dugout and just sit down for a little bit and watch everybody celebrate. I was exhausted. It was a long season. It was a great season. It was filled with memories that I would never get back. And I was so happy and so proud of them. And to maintain that course, and like the article said, we maintained that #1 ranking from the start right to the end. You know, they only lost 3 games. I never had a team that lost that few games. And every loss that we had, we learned from it. And there's never a good loss, but if you can learn from that and get better, I guess that would be a good loss. And the thing with this group, we could go back the next day and say, okay, we need to work on some bunts here today. We didn't bunt very well. We didn't execute. No problems there at all. And through the course of my time coaching, I've seen many changes. The rule changes, the equipment has changed. They've added additional sports to make it tougher to coach, to try to get those good athletes. But the one thing that did not change with this group of girls was their commitment, their hard work. Every single day they came to practice. They were very coachable, and the best thing about it, they were all great teammates. And it was talked about last night that nobody could ever remember any drama that happened that year. And as a coach, amen. And the record still stands at 44 wins, and it's going to be very tough to break that because of the restrictions now and the number of games that can be played. So I'm very proud of that as well with this team. And I just wanted to add one more thing. So not only do we have this memory, and these girls have these memories to share with their family and their kids of how good they really were, but again, the thing that I'm most proud of with this group is how successful they are today. You know, winning a state championship, that's the ultimate. But as I get older and have coached longer, I see joys in other things other than wins. And when I hear them talking about their daughters or their sons last night and what they're doing and what they're doing career-wise for themselves, it makes me proud. And it makes me very proud to be a coach, and especially this group here. So I'm going to tell you it's well-deserved for this group. A long time coming, and this was the best team that I have ever coached. Talent-wise, yeah. So I'm just going to, well, Mike already announced the names, but I'm going to announce the names of the girls that are here, and these are going to be by their maiden names. So Nicole Bannigan, Jackie Caprathi, Kayla Botts, Sarah Ernst, Teresa Wood, Holly Shepkowski. My assistant coaches that year, Vern Botts, many years my assistant coach, and Tom came about and helped out. Tom's been a long time coach for me, and I've been truly blessed in what I have been given the ability to coach, and I've been truly blessed with great players, great kids, and great coaches. So I'm going to say my goodbyes here. Vern Botts would like to just say a couple brief words, and be out of here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for putting this wonderful production on tonight. And to all the inductees, congratulations also. I had the pleasure of coaching with Brad and in the All Saints tradition for 12 years. If you don't know who I was in the dugout, it's because he wouldn't let me talk. I was the quiet one. No, in seriousness, we had a great rapport, and you know, the question that always comes up is, when you have a good career with the talent we had over the 12 years, is, was this your best team? And that's a hard pick to do. Brad obviously has already announced that he thinks it's his best team. I would obviously say that it's very, very close. But when you win 44 games, you set state records, you put on a great season, and your ultimate goal still hasn't been met, and then the girls revamp themselves and go into a mission of playoff ball where they took it to the next level. And if you look at how they played, they went in the playoffs, they outscored their opponent 74-1. They gave up one run in the semifinals of the state tournament. That's a strong run, that's a great mission and everything else. And simply put, It was a phenomenal year. They had the pressure because the expectations were very high. Yeah, Brad was a little testy all year long, and it was a coaching challenge, probably for me too, to keep him a little calm. But all in all, it worked out really well. And what I'd like to simply say to the girls is thank you for letting me go along for the ride. Thank you.
Christmas coming. Thanks, guys. Congratulations.
Congratulations, girls. Teams always get a hat, compliments of the Hall of Fame, so they can wear them proudly. I think it's time, right, Vaughn? If you could, we'll take a little couple-minute break here to get out the 50-50 tickets and the cards, and we'll find some winners. So it's a good opportunity to stretch your legs if you need to. So Vaughn, come on up. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Our next inductee, when you think about track and field in Bay County, you think about Jack Nesbitt. Jack was born to be a teacher and a coach. Both mom and dad were educators. Jack remembers many a time when his mom would take him to watch the track meets his dad was coaching. Coach Nesbitt was hired right out of college in 1974 and spent 4 decades with the Garber Dukes. Before Jack was an outstanding hurdler and long jumper at Bay City Handy. And when he left Handy, he became a record-setting triple jumper. And when the word got out that Jack graduated and he was looking for a job, the rest was history. Jack was the head coach at Garber from 1979 to 2013. He was also the freshman and JV basketball coach for 18 years and spent 26 years as the boys cross-country coach. Coach Nesbitt coached his Dukes to 10 Tri-Valley Conference championships, 8 Bay County titles, and 2 regional championships in cross-country. Jack was very knowledgeable about the sport and loved coaching, and he had 7 state champions: Tom Beador, Kyle Dengler, Travis Tomez, and the 3200 relay team of Mike Zolneric, Fred Scharf, Paul Navarre, and his nephew, Mike Nesbitt. Jack left CMU with both indoor and outdoor records in the triple jump, but later bested by one of his Handy alum, Joe Garrett. While at CMU, he met his wife Sally, and they have 2 daughters, Erin and Allison. Also, before I forget, I would like to say to Jack, happy birthday. So, and we have another birthday boy in the crowd tonight. So, sitting in the back, Mr. Sean Sullivan. It's birthday. So, if you could all join me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sean and Jack. Happy birthday to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Nesbitt.
I'd be happy to accept a birthday drink afterwards from anyone that wants to buy me one.
Darby.
Yeah. I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees. I'm thrilled to receive this award. It's truly a dream come true for me. I'd like to thank the members of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame that felt I deserved to be in this elite group. I especially want to thank Joe today, the legendary athletic director at Garber High School for years, for nominating for this award. I'd like to introduce my wife, Sally. Thank her for all the support and understanding she's given me over the years of my coaching. Took me away from the family life quite a bit. Speaking of family, my daughters are here, Erin and Allison. Thanks for coming. I have great memories of Sally dragging them up to sporting events at Garber, not just my sporting events, but watch Coach Harvey's football teams and everything else that was going on, Perry Middleton's basketball teams. And so Both of my daughters now live in Southwest Michigan, and after I retired, my wife and I moved down there so we could be closer to them, and our grandkids are there, and we're having a ball. Also at my family table is my brother Jim. He's legendary in Bay City, member of your Hall of Fame here. He was inducted, I believe, back in 1996, and his wife Carol's here. Their two sons, Jimmy Nesbitt and Michael Nesbitt, are here. Jim's wife April is here, and Brendan, my grandnephew, is here with his dad Michael. As you know, both Jim was a coach here at John Glenn first and then at Saginaw Valley, and Michael now is kind of carrying the torch of coaching. He's a very successful coach out of Bay City Western. I also want to thank my friends and colleagues that showed up tonight to help me celebrate, and all their support that they've given me and advice through the years has been greatly appreciated. As Mike mentioned, my dad was a track coach at Bay City Handy back in the day, the 50s and 60s, and then athletic director. But yes, indeed, I grew up being a track rat, and some of my earliest memories are being at track meets. They're kind of vague memories, but being at track meets. And some of my early childhood activities in the backyard were to pole vault over my mom's clothesline with the bamboo pole, and my dad had brought a couple hurdles home for me to run around the backyard over. So indeed, those were some of my first memories that I have of my childhood. I'm very proud of my own athletic career, especially breaking the triple jump record, which was previously held by Charlie Roschow, who was a Hall of Fame member here, so it's kind of ironic, I guess. But very proud of that, my individual career. But I'm really more proud of what I did in the teaching and the coaching field. 39 years as track coach. That's a long time, and I loved every minute of it. As Mike mentioned, also 26 years as a cross-country coach at Garber. My entire career spent there at Garber. Wonderful school system, and I greatly appreciate the support that Joe Today gave me, and also our new athletic director, Dave Schultz. It really means a lot to me to know that my lifelong participation in sports is being recognized with this award. Thank you again for this awesome honor. It's a birthday gift that will last forever. Thank you.
By the way, you guys sounded pretty good from up here. Really did. Don't quit your day job, so. Our second team going into the Hall of Fame tonight is the 1956 St. Joseph Yellowjackets. In '56, the Yellowjackets went 9-0, won the Valley Parochial Class C title, the city championship, and finished the year number 6 in state Class C and D polls. With Hall of Fame head coach and Hall of Fame assistant Bob Hines, the Yellowjackets outscored their opponents 248-58 and outgained them 2,831 to 930. In 1955, the St. Joe team went 3-5-1, but in '56, did they ever turn things around? They allowed 13 points in their final game and also shutting out 3 opponents. The closest call came week 4 against legendary coach Smokey Boyd in the Saginaw St. Peter and Paul Crusaders. But not to worry, the Yellowjackets won that game. It wasn't just one player that made this team great. It was a team effort, but a few of the fellas did stand out. All-State guard Jack Klein, honorable mention All-State Tom DeLille and Bob Guernsey, and all diocesan team members Ron Widener, Mike Sheridan, Jack Trudell, and Tom DeLille was city scoring champion with 16 touchdowns and 105 points. When they finished off the opponents, and you guys will probably, some of you will remember these 2 places. It was off to Stevens Dairy and White's Drive-In. I even remember those places for milkshakes and fries. What, they were about a quarter or 50 cents back then. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, the undefeated 1956 St. Joe's Yellowjackets.
What's your name again, sir? Gene Morrow.
Introducing the Yellowjackets is Gene Morrow. Thanks, Gene. You guys want to go down in front so we can get you all in here. We want to get you on TV. And oh, by the way, if you need CDs or DVDs, we have them available from Bay County TV.
Right, look right there.
Move down a little bit, Mike. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations to all of you that are going to this Bay County Sports Hall of Fame this evening. It's quite an honor. I'm Gene Morrow, and I've been asked to be the spokesman for this team. We are the 1956 Bay City St. Joseph Yellowjackets. We were the first team in the school's history to go undefeated. If you'll turn to page 46 and 47 of your booklet, everything that I was going to say tonight is in there, and our MC just said the rest of it. So anyway, our coach that year was Art Nixon. Art Nixon was in his third year of coaching at Bay City St. Joe's, and it was only his fifth year coaching overall, so he wasn't much older than the rest of us. Art was the kind of a guy that didn't yell at you, he didn't shout at you. He rather showed you what he wanted done and how he wanted it done. The only time he didn't participate with the rest of us is when we had to run wind sprints, in which case he was content with just blowing the whistle. He was also interested in our education. And one of our practice sessions that we had, we weren't doing too well. And Art wasn't too happy, and he said we were lethargic. Well, we were high school guys, you know, we were not working on our vocabulary at that point. We didn't know what lethargic was, and he wasn't going to tell us. So we had to go home and look it up, and it meant a new word for the word pathetic. So I guess we probably were. The assistant coach that year was Bobby Hines. Bobby Hines was the backfield coach. He was a real spark plug of our team, and whenever we needed a lift or needed a little shot in the rear end, Bobby was the one that was able to give it to us. It's really unfortunate that both Art and Bobby are not able to be with us this evening. We couldn't have got where we were without those two guys. Let me talk a little bit about some of the teammates. He just covered it all.
Sorry.
We got Jack Klein here, was All-State. Jack started out to be a running back, but he was converted over to the guard position because a lot of the plays on Art's offense called for pulling guards. And Jack was quick, he was fast, he was accurate, he was a good blocker. Jack was All-State, he was All-Diocesan, and he was all Bay City Times City League. Now to get an idea what the All-Diocesan team was, that was all of the parochial schools, regardless of class, from Saginaw, Michigan, all the way up to Alpena. So that was a lot of teams. There were 6 of them here in Bay City alone, 3 in Saginaw, and Alpena Catholic Centrals. So that was a lot of players to be selected from. Next is, see who we got next year. Oh, Tom DeLille. Is Tom here tonight? Tom came all the way from Escondido, California. Tom was a top city scorer. He was honorable mention All-State. He was All-Diocesan, and he was also All-City. One of the guys told me that it seemed like every time Tom would get into the huddle, the only thing he would ever say was, "Give me the ball." So he's been known now as Tom, "Give me the ball" DeLille. He was also elected St. Joseph Athlete of the Year that year. So he got a lot of honors. And he beat out Naaman Smith for the scoring title with 105 points, just missing the record by 3 points. Bob Guernsey was the tackle next to Jack Klein. And Bob Guernsey was one tough son of a gun, if you knew Bob. I remember one of the games, Bob got stepped on, and he had a big hole in his calf from somebody's cleat, and he continued to play the game. I know Bob would have really loved to be with us tonight. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. He was honorable mention All-State, he was All-Diocesan, and he was also All-City. Next we have Dick Jeffers. Dick Jeffers was our center. He also played linebacker on defense. A lot of these guys went both ways, and that's why we ran a lot of wind sprints, so we'd be in good shape so we could play both sides of the ball. Dick Jeffers made the All-City team. Next was Ron Wagner. Ron was 6'1" or 6'2", 205 pounds. And he looked like a Martian coming through the line because he had big goggles and they were black rimmed. So when he came at you, and the helmets we had weren't like today, all freshly painted or all new helmets. They'd been around for a lot of years, and his helmet had a lot of scratches on it. So he was kind of wicked looking coming through the line. Ron was elected second team All-Diocesan. And one of the things that some of us players forgot about was that partway through the year, Ron was called on to do some of the kicking. And in that last game, when visitation was after us to get part of the championship away from us, Ron punted the ball 3 times, and he averaged 43.6 yards a kick. That wasn't too bad for a high school kid in those days. Those balls weren't exactly alive like they are today. Mike Sheridan, he was honorable mention All-Diocesan, and he played tackle. Am I right? Did I get that right? Hey, we're excited about being here tonight, but actually, because most of us are pushing 80, we're excited to be anywhere. And still breathing. Mike made honorable mention All-Diocesan, and next to him playing the guard position was Felix Bosco. The thing about Felix, the best thing he was known for was the fact he could stay low to the ground. Stand up, Felix. He was a great guard. He knocked a lot of people on their butt. Felix was elected to the All-City team. Now, we had some underclassmen that were key players on this team. Mostly what I've been doing was telling you about the key players. We had 3 sophomores on that team. We had Bobby Trujanovic, Mike Gallagher, and Ronnie Verhage. Bobby Trujanovic filled in as a quarterback. Mike Gallagher was the center, and he played linebacker on defense. And then we had Ron Verhage, who was the starting left halfback. Ron Verhage was a really hard-nosed runner. He never met a tackler he didn't think he could run through. He didn't spend very much time running around. So I also wanted to mention that in the scoring race that Ron Widener here finished 5th, Ron Verhage finished 6th. So we had 3 players in the top 6 scoring leaders, 1st, 5th, and 6th. That wasn't too bad for our team. But that says a lot about our line, both defense and offense, that these guys were able to make those kind of points. The other underclassmen we had was juniors. We had Jack Trudell. We're not sure where Jack is. We haven't been able to locate him, and it's too bad because Jack also was, he was honorable mention All-Diocesan. He played the end position. Of the other players, other than Felix, who was a junior, all the other ones have passed away. And it certainly would have been nice to have them here.
No, I haven't. I was a freshman on the team.
I'm sorry?
Yes. And they used me as a blocking and tackling dummy.
Yeah, well.
I have to tell you, there was an unfair advantage at St. Joe's. In the 5th grade, you start playing football. I came home with all my equipment on, the kitchen, And my mother said, "What in the hell are you doing?" She couldn't believe it. So they started us out in the 5th grade. So by the time you hit high school, you knew how to play football. So that's how we
Yeah, a lot of us started in the grade school. I joined St. Joe's from Sheboygan, Michigan in the 6th grade. I now come all the way from South Alabama. Nick Saban let me have the weekend off. Unfortunately, the team in the town where I live, when I first moved there, I noticed they didn't have a very good winning season. So I went back and checked 10 years, and they averaged 1.5 games winning per year. That's a heck of a record. And it continues to this day. They haven't hardly won a game since I've been down there. But anyway.
signed footballs from Nick Saban on my bar from Michigan State.
Well, that's more than I got. I just got some tourist stuff.
What is his name?
Yeah. What is your name?
Look there closely, it's George Hayes.
Okay. It's what?
George.
George, of course it is. How could we ever forget that? It was easy for me.
Leroy was the other freshman.
Yeah, and we got another freshman here, and that's Leroy DeLille. We couldn't do it. Where is he? There he is, right here. He's the good-looking one of the family. And we also got Tom Hudson here, that played one of the halfbacks, and we got Paul Watson, who played the fullback. So, you know, for guys our age, it's hard for us to get a hold of these underclassmen because we don't do Twitter, we don't do Facebook, we don't do Texagram, we don't do any of this kind of stuff. You know, we still got telephones, and some of them got dials in them, so, yeah. I'll talk to you about a couple of the games that we played. You know, if you don't win that first game, you can't be undefeated. I read that somewhere, I'm not sure where, but anyway. The first game we played was against Merrill Public High School, and those were usually a bunch of pretty tough farm guys. And that game was tied for most of the game until we got right down to the closing minutes of that game. We got the ball on our own 25-yard line, and the score was tied 6-6. And then at that time, we had lost our quarterback. Jerry Cook went out with injuries. We lost our left halfback, Ron Verhage. He went out with injuries and ended up going to the hospital to be checked out. So Bobby Trudanovich began feeding the ball to Tom DeLille and Ron Widener. Actually, I think it was Tom DeLille, Ron Widener, Tom DeLille. But they got the ball all the way down to either the 13th or 19th yard line when Bobby Trudanovich, he messed up the defense. He called the play for the left halfback who hadn't been carrying the ball all the way down the field. So when Ron and Tom hit the line, they were all focusing on them, and the left halfback went all the way around the right end, nobody there. So we scored the winning touchdown, or the go-ahead touchdown, and Tom DeLille scored the extra point. So we squeaked away with that game, 19-12. So the next game that I think is worth mentioning is probably the game that was probably the dirtiest, nastiest game we played all year, and that was with Saginaw St. Mary's. It had been raining all day. It had been raining buckets. That field was an absolute quagmire. Tom DeLille's pants were so wet and so clogged with mud, he couldn't hold them up. So he had to trade off with one of the guys on the bench. Now, don't you know that was a real good deal for the guy on the bench? Yeah. But you know, that wasn't the only thing that was sloppy that day. It was either the runners, I don't know whether it was us or whether it was the referees, probably the referees. We had 5 touchdowns called back in that game, and we racked up 125 yards in penalties. At the end of the game, the team bus pulled into the parking lot of Mercy Hospital so we could unload some of the players to have their eyes flushed out and other orifices that were full of dirt, mud. Yeah, they did have it. Yeah. They didn't wash Tom's pants, so they just washed out his eyes, I think. But you know, it was more unfortunate for St. Mary's. That was the last game St. Mary's played that year. I'm not quite sure what happened, but I think they had some injuries and couldn't really field a team that they felt for the rest of the year. They ended up forfeiting all the rest of the games. I think the game that really proved who we were as a team was the St. Peter and Paul game. That was, I believe that was our homecoming game. And also I want to mention one of the players I forgot, a couple of players I forgot at the beginning was Kenny Allery, who really wanted to be here tonight. He's down in Osprey, Florida, and had an emergency in the family and couldn't make it. And Larry Schudark played the end, and he also played safety on defense. Kenny Allery didn't win any of the awards like some of these other guys did, but Kenny married the homecoming queen, so he made out pretty good. So anyway, that was our homecoming game. We were having a lot of trouble with St. Peter and Paul. We were behind 20-14 at the halftime. We went into the locker room at halftime. Art Nixon had pretty well figured out what the plan was going to be for the second half. So he gave everybody the plan, told them what he wanted done, and then he left the locker room. He never left the locker room before at halftime. But after he left, there was Bobby Hines. Nobody really remembers what Bobby said. They just remembered that when they came out of there, we were on fire. We were ready to go. We were ready to tear them up. We scored 20 points in the third quarter, 14 more points in the fourth quarter, and we beat St. Peter and Paul 47-20. They never knew what hit them. And from there, it was all, we were the team. We were the team to be beaten, to be beat. The next game we're going to talk a little bit about is St. James. Every team has a team that they want to beat, whether it's because they don't like them or because they're friends and they want to have bragging rights. Well, that was kind of the way it was, I think, with us, between us and St. James. We had a lot of our boys that were from that St. James area, but they were playing for St. Joe's. And there was a lot of friendships between the two schools. So it was for bragging rights, and St. James was a pretty tough team that year. But we managed to hold them scoreless, and we won that game 26-0. It was probably the only time that Coach Nixon ever singled out a player at the halftime, and that happened to be Jack Klein. Jack doesn't remember this. I got this from another player. But the coach looked at Jack Klein. He said, "Jack, what the heck are you doing out there? That guy across from me is beating you to the punch on every single down." And Jack was always a quiet guy. He just kind of looked at the coach and he said, "Well, Coach, that guy's cross-eyed and I don't know which way he's going." But he figured it out, and we won that game 26-0. And the last game of the year was against Visitation. Visitation wanted that game real bad because they had a chance to tie for the Valley Parochial League. And they figured out they had a game plan that was going to stop our three running backs. So they loaded up the line. They played an 8-man line. Only what they didn't count on was that Jerry Cook had developed a passing game. And he didn't have to throw very far. He threw about 11 yards, was probably the longest pass that he threw all day. And we gained, I think it was 95 yards passing in that game. And we beat Visitation 26-0. So there we were. We were the city champions. We were the Valley Parochial League champions. We had, hold on just a minute, relax, take a drink. I'll be right with you. Okay, we had outgained our opponents 2,831 yards to 930. We had beaten Sacred Heart, St. James, and Visitation, holding them scoreless. We outscored our opponents 248-58. There were 29 players on that team, and every one of them made a contribution to that winning season. And of course, we have Art Nixon and Coach Hines to thank for that really great season we had. So in conclusion, I want to thank Jennifer, the president of the Sports Hall of Fame, and I want to thank Lee Thompson for his help and all the voting members for giving us this great honor this evening. We're truly thankful and appreciate what you've done for us. And now, if I know you all had a big, heavy meal, so if you would like to just sit back a little bit and maybe fall asleep if you want. Tom DeLille has a couple of words he wants to say. And Lee Thompson and I both can tell you personally that we know this. He's a man of very few words. Okay, Tom, you got the ball.
Give me the ball, Coach. Give me the ball, Coach, please. Anyway,
You had a great line. It was easy to run through.
Exactly right, George. And I really did. And if you could see the backside of Jack Klein, Mike Sheridan, and all these line guys, my cleats are still on their back. Believe me. Anyway, I do want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the committee for finally getting to us. What the hell took you so long? But anyway, I've been looking around this room, and God almighty, I'm getting a big head. Can't hardly get through those doors. And the whole thing for Mike and everybody, Ronnie. Okay, God is talking to me. Anyway, I'm looking around this room, and I have never in my life seen so many beautiful bald heads. I'm talking about, I know looking around, I'm the second or third best looking bald-headed guy here. Now I'm going to let you pick out number one and then tell me. Because you know what happened? This guy right here, Bill Burdell, he used no more tangles, just like me.
You got to keep going.
Oh, okay. We're going to go. Anyway, all I want to do is thank everybody for being here. I don't want to talk much, but congratulations. We had a real good team. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, guys. What time is it? All right, our next inductee is from Bay City Central and recognized as one of the best hoops players to come out of Central and Bay County. There's an old saying when you're a good shooter that when you walk in the gym, you're in range. When Kelly Spielhopter DeWitt got out of her car, she was in range. Kelly was a fierce competitor who scored 1,698 points, leading the Wolves to 3 district titles. Her older brother, Eric, who's in the crowd tonight, was also a pretty good shooter. And the two of them had some memorable games of horse and pig in the family driveway, not to mention those classic 1-on-1 games. Kelly was routinely first to the gym, last one to leave, and always working on that smooth J, handling the rock, and shooting free throws. In 1993, Kelly scored 609 points that season and 42 points in one game. During her 4-year career at Bay City Central, they went 78-16 and playing alongside players like Pavlak, Gifford, Buzzard, and Kolakowski. All of these great athletes helping Kelly in her career. While at Central, Kelly's the first team All-Valley 3 times and first team Class A All-State twice. She accomplished her goal of playing college ball attending Hillsdale, and as a senior, she was a captain of the team. Led the team in scoring and helped the Chargers win the South Division Championship. Kelly finished her career with 1,142 points, 350 made free throws, and 304 assists. Kelly, that was a great career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, Kelly Spielhopter DeWitt.
I'd like to extend my thanks to all the board members and the voters of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame for including me in this 28th induction this year. What a special honor it is. I'm very humbled and very appreciative of your recognition of my accomplishments. Also extending congratulations to all the other inductees this year. When I received a call earlier this year from Lee Thompson informing me of this special honor, I was speechless. It triggered so many fond memories that had kind of gone out of my mind there for a little while. Just brought a lot of those memories back from the past. These caused me to look back and reflect on all the incredibly special people that I have to be thankful for that have been so influential to my journey. First and foremost are my parents, George and Judy. As As a child, I never realized the countless sacrifices that you made for my benefit. It wasn't until I became a parent myself that I developed a strong appreciation for all of your sacrifices. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for your selflessness, your constant love, your unwavering support throughout my playing career. My support system did not just stop with my parents. As Mike had mentioned, I was very fortunate to have a brother that I looked up to and aspired to be like. From an early age, he allowed me to tag along and join in the many sporting competitions with his neighborhood buddies. It was from these experiences that I began developing a competitive attitude and the drive and desire to be the best. Thank you, Eric, for being a caring and such a supportive big brother. My grandparents. How fortunate I was to have 4 wonderful grandparents that would follow me to no end. No matter where basketball took me, they were there traveling right along. You were my biggest fans. You wore your purple and gold and your Charger blue as you cheered on with pride. Memories of seeing you in the bleachers, hearing your words of encouragement, and receiving your hugs after the games are memories that I hold dear to my heart. I've been so blessed to play for so many amazing coaches throughout my basketball playing days. At a young age at Emmanuel Lutheran, my coaches laid an important foundation for just a pure enjoyment of the game. As I entered into high school, Coach Dave Petrowski took a chance on a freshman from a small parochial school, brought me up to the varsity team my freshman year, and so began my 4-year varsity career at Bay City Central High School. Coach P, you helped my knowledge and skills of the game grow in so many ways, and my passion for the game followed suit. Attaining a personal goal of earning a college scholarship could not have been reached without your time and efforts. Thank you. And of course, I cannot leave out my absolutely most favorite coach of all time, my dad. You dedicated countless hours with me in the gym, helping me develop my basketball skills, especially what I love doing the most, shooting. There was an abundance of words of encouragement, but also some harsh words of reality. There were times of laughter, as well as times of frustration. There were moments of celebration, as well as moments of disappointment. All of these experiences pushed and motivated me to persevere and to have high expectations for myself. I would not be standing in front of you right now if it wasn't for your confidence and belief in me. When people ask me about my high school playing experience as a basketball player, I always begin by saying what an unbelievably special group of girls we had. As Mike mentioned, we were just a group of athletes. We had a lot of girls that played lots of different sports. Not only were we blessed with athletic talent, but more importantly, we were a group of girls with strong character. Our team successes, as well as my individual accomplishments, are a direct product of the hard work and effort put forth by each and every one of them. I'd like to end this special moment today with a message to the 2 most special people in my life, my daughter Caitlin and my son Jake. You both are very talented children with exciting futures that lie ahead of you. You're in control of how you want to define yourselves, the people you want to become, and the accomplishments you want to achieve. You may win championships, you may not. You may earn accolades, you may not. Could you possibly even earn a scholarship to attend a college? Or maybe even one day be standing at a podium being inducted into a Hall of Fame? Sure, you may, but there's no guarantee. What I can promise you is this: the relationships and the friendships that you will build, the memories that you will make, the life lessons that you will learn, and the character that you will develop are priceless. These will continue to impact you and follow you way beyond your playing days. It is for these reasons that I will forever be grateful to the game I love, the game of basketball, and to all of my supporters who have had such a profound impact on my life. Thank you.
Congratulations, Kelly. Our next inductee, Roy Schultz, moved to Bay City in 1981 and the new guy in town proved tough to beat out at the Bay City Country Club. The new guy at the club was becoming one of the best amateur golfers in the state of Michigan. 3 years after coming to Bay City, Roy won the Michigan Amateur. To this day, Roy remains a great player on the Golf Association of Michigan Tour. Roy has won the GAM Senior Four Ball Championship 4 times. This season, he finished as first alternate for the U.S. Senior Amateur and qualified for the championship round of the Senior Mid-Amateur. Roy was also a 12-time club champion at the Bay City Country Club, 7 more titles than any other golfer at the club. While a senior at Port Huron Northern, the basketball player found that golf was for him. He was a regional medalist and led Port Huron Northern to a 5th place finish in the state. Roy walked on at Southern Methodist University, where he proved his game, making the GAM championship. When Roy and his bride Karen moved to Bay City in 1981, he won the club championship his first year as a member, and he won 6 more times the next 7 years. Bay City Country Club player Rick Webb said it best: "Golf is a real mind game, and the way he hit the ball intimidated a lot of people." Roy is still hitting the ball and intimidating people today. Everybody please welcome Roy Schultz to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. As you can tell, that so many of the speakers tonight, that this is really not about us. It's about all the other people that surround us and support us. So for all of those people, I just have a very brief list of the ones I am thankful for. I am thankful for God for all the blessings in my life. I am thankful for my wife Karen, who has put up with hours and hours of practice time, course time. She is really, truly the reason that I have been as successful as I have been. I am thankful for my 3 children, my 2 grandchildren, my 2 dogs, for keeping me grounded. And by the way, 2 grandchildren within 3 weeks becomes 4 grandchildren. I am thankful for my grandfather, who started taking me to the golf course on Sunday afternoons. I am thankful for my 2 sons, when they were teens, for the look on their face when they were first able to hit their tee shot past Dad. I am thankful for the look on my face this summer when I'm able to hit my tee shot past my sons once or twice. I am thankful for Bill Netter, the former head professional at Port Huron Golf Club, who took a enthusiastic kid who showed interest in golf. He took me under his wing and showed me the right way to become a golfer. I am thankful to Tom Draper, who at the time in 1973 was 60 years old, and he taught a young, brash 19-year-old the important and valuable lesson of humility in the finals of the GAM Championship. I am thankful for all my friends at the Bay City Country Club. They are the ones that taught me the focus of bringing my A game each and every single round. Otherwise, they were more than happy to smile ear to ear to take that $10 bill out of my billfold. So again, thank you to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. It's truly humbling and an honor to be here tonight alongside all these outstanding athletes and coaches, and but especially to be inducted in the same Hall of Fame as Halib and Snabel, Pafford, and now my good friend Tom Resler. Again, thank you very much.
Roy, congratulations. Our last football team tonight to be inducted into the Hall of Fame is another powerhouse from St. Joe's, that great team from 1960. The St. Joe team had a solid nucleus of 34 players, and to all of them, including coaches, is one of those seasons they will never forget. Tony Bosco, the running back, remembers this team having a common mission, working together, no heroes, all for one, one for all. Coach Jerry Leahy took a 5-3-1 team from 59 and tried to get the same magic as that 1956 team. The 60 team opened the season with 3 wins while allowing only 8 rushing yards. St. Joe's knew something was special when they beat St. Stan's 37-6. And in week 6, they beat powerhouse Traverse City St. Francis 20-0, knocking the Gladiators' best player out of the game on the opening kickoff thanks to Jerry Gracie. The showdown was on in week 9 with St. James. 3,500 people watched as St. Joe's beat St. James 13-7, thanks to a double end-around pass, which was not the norm for this 1960 group of Yellowjackets. The 60 team was very impressive, outscoring all opponents 232-33. They were also city champs and valley champs. They had 5 total shutouts that year and were ranked number 8 in Class C and D. Everybody, if you would, please welcome the 1960 St. Joseph football team to Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Hey, Ron. My name is Tony Bosco. I am one of 5 Tony Boscos in Bay City. I am the youngest. I believe in the 5 B's of public speaking. Be brief, baby, be brief. Somebody says be short. Somebody says be short. I'm already short, but I will be brief. I would like Lee Thompson to stand. I want to take a point of personal privilege here. Lee, would you please stand?
I'm standing too.
On behalf of class of 60 and probably everybody in this room, I want to thank you for helping us to get here, and I want to thank you for your article. It was a Pulitzer Prize for sure. Thank you, Lee. We played ball during a unique era when the Catholic Church supported several local high schools. There were 2 divisions of Catholic school teams. The competition among these schools was intense. We owe a lot to the clergy and the religious men and women who made our era possible. Support for these teams came from our parents, who were highly involved in all of our activities. This was a generation of people chronicled by Tom Brokaw in his book, The Greatest Generation. We sincerely thank our parents who made many sacrifices for us. At the team level, we were fortunate to be coached by coaches who were highly skilled, dedicated, and personally involved with building us as caring and capable citizens. The coaches making this day possible were Jerry Leahy. Coach was with us during our junior year as the assistant when his skills as defensive coordinator helped us to become the Division II champs of Saginaw Valley Parochial League. As head coach in the award-winning 1960 season, he gave us a style of hard-nosed, physical football that was unique. On offense, our primary formation was an unbalanced line, single wing. This was a throwback to a previous era made popular by Otto Graham, one of Coach Leahy's mentors. Our defenses were built on a lot of individual responsibility. Coach's methods for communicating directly with individuals was highlighted when he personally taped the ankles of many of the players prior to the games. Each of us who experienced this exercise can recall some personal commitment made by Coach during this process. When we came away from the ankle taping, we were transformed with a serious game attitude. Coach, you were the greatest. Even though you couldn't manage to run through the gauntlet of the senior line without tossing your cookies, you made us championship ball players and good citizens. Thank you for your hard work. Art Nixon, who built
our character and desire to win through 2 rebuilding years. Don Rainick, who assisted Coach Leahy during our memorable season. Mike Conitz, who was the coach during our 1959 season. John Young, who was a JV assistant coach and actively pursued getting more of us involved in playing football. Jerry Cook, who played an active role as an assistant coach. Each of them played a role in developing our winning culture. We were fortunate to be part of a class body. Our motto in our yearbook was "We were one in 61." One was spelled O-N-E. I was the editor of the sports part of that yearbook, and I changed the one to W-O-N. We were one in 61. And we won. We did win. And a student body of cheerleaders like Linda Kuzabel-Smith, Mary Kay LeBeau, Mary Jo Allery Shabrinsky, Captain Lucy Lesbrance, Kenzel, Judy Mosteller, and Carol Mahoney. They were actively engaged with our team on and off the field. Their support was unwavering. Finally, we appreciate the St. James football team of 1960. They were bigger than us. They were faster than us. They were the champions of the upper division of the Valley Parochial League. In spite of their superior status, they allowed us to win by outlasting them and by our confusing them with a specialty play they were not expecting. This evening would be possible without them. And I would like to offer a thought that in 2 years will be our 60th year reunion. I thought maybe we could have a little grudge match. We'd give St. James an opportunity to get at us again. You know, we could sell tickets to that, and all the tickets could go to our scholarship fund here at the. So think about it. We get somebody that will help us here. Interestingly enough, in the 8th grade, the graduating class was 1961, was undefeated in SVL championship and coached by Francis Bowen Jr. This was the same year that the 1956 football team was undefeated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present you with the 38 members of the 96 St. Joseph Yellowjacket team. I'm going to call their names. They're standing up here, but I'm going to call the names of all of them because some of them passed away and they're no longer with us, but they're with us in our hearts. We were one in 61. Ken Sherbinski, senior. Harvey White, junior. Gary Brando, sophomore. Jim Zaharko, sophomore. Butch Bosco, junior. Ed Kulas, junior. Gary Elovich, freshman. Bob Shoemaker, freshman. Gary Wack, sophomore. Reg Miskey, senior. Bill Shell, senior. Bernie Miskey, freshman. Jerry Trojan, senior. Tony Bosco, senior. George Lynch, junior. Ron Majeski, senior. Jack Tabor, sophomore. Kelly Lynch, sophomore. Bill Hebert, senior. Mike Laporte, freshman. Marty Laporte, junior. Marvin Adrian, junior. Jerry Gracie, senior. Ben Paschik, senior. Terry Vandenberg, freshman. Tom Carn, freshman. Bill Fournier, junior. Lewis Campbell, junior. Terry Klein, senior. Bill Mahoney, senior. Fred Leonard, junior. Pat Gallagher, freshman. Eugene Shabrinsky, freshman. Russ Vernicki, freshman. Ed Bowen, senior. Bill Kane, sophomore. And Jim Verhanovich, senior. I'd like to have the coach come up and recognize Coach Leahy.
This is a little bit of a surprise. They told me I wouldn't have time to do this, but obviously these young men here were very outstanding athletes when they were seniors in high school. They worked hard, they believed in their class motto, and did an excellent job. No petty jealousies, they worked hard together, and I think that's what led them to their success. Most of them have been very outstanding citizens and have done well in their adult life. It was a great pleasure to coach them. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll get you your hats and your certificates at the end of the banquet. Congratulations. I like that be brief thing. I got to remember that one. Oop. Okay. Our last inductee tonight has a last name that everybody associated with football at Bay City Central and Bay County will recognize. He also has a first name that everybody will recognize. It's Nigel Wargo. Nigel was a three-sport superstar who excelled at his craft, and at 6'4", 235 pounds, he was what Coach Elmer Engel was exactly looking for. Even missing 4 games his senior season, he won honorable mention All-State, and that's just how good Nigel was. And in week 8, they beat Flint Northwestern, coming from behind and giving Coach Engel going out a winner his final season. Nigel also excelled in basketball, on the basketball court, playing 3 years of varsity ball, going 40 and 18. Averaging 24 points a game, and he was first team All-Valley and honorable mention All-State. Like his brother Dennis before him, Nigel went to play football at the Purdue Boilermakers. Nigel was a 3-year starter for Purdue where he played tight end, and he was honorable mention All-Big Ten in 1976. A big win for Nigel that one year was Purdue's when they beat the, this is hard for me to say, brother. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it's your night. It ain't about it. I'm going to say it. Beat the Michigan Wolverines 16-14. Congratulations, brother. That was a great win. Wolverines were #1 in the country that year, too. When his playing days were over, his success on the field carried on off the field to Cisco Foods, where he said to them in the job interview, "If you don't hire me, it'll be the biggest mistake of your life. I will get you results." And he certainly did. Nigel is retired now, living in Port St. Lucie, Florida, with his bride of 42 years, Barbara. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, Nigel Wargo.
Thanks, Mike. Good evening. Greetings to all the Bay County Hall of Fame members, family, and friends that are here tonight. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Board of Directors, the Hall of Fame voters, and Lee Thompson in reviewing my achievements to be worthy to be placed on this ballot. I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees and the 3 teams that were inducted tonight in the class of 2018. I'd like to thank my late parents, Ed and Dorothy, for bringing me into this amazing world, teaching me to be kind, loyal, and a good person. To my sister Mary Ann, my sister-in-law Bethany Wargo, to my brother-in-laws Bob and David Przbilski, I'm proud to call you all family. To my wife Barbara, 42 years, grade school sweetheart at 13, thank you for your love, your support, and sacrifices throughout my sports and professional career. I could not continue tonight without mentioning my deceased brothers, Ed, Dennis, and Kevin, wishing that they could be here tonight with me to celebrate this great honor. I know they are proud and looking down on all of us. To receive this individual award tonight is a thrill and an honor. It was also an honor the first time I was here to receive the 1972 Bay City Central State Championship football team inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2012. Bay County has produced many great athletes, and I'm proud to be part of an elite group of individuals here in the Bay County area. I started my successful career in basketball and track at St. Boniface, winning the 8th grade parochial basketball championship, setting records in track for shot put, high jump, and 100-yard low hurdles. Bay City Central is where the dream began for me. The goal was to become a Class A state championship football team, to be included with the other 4 elite previous state football championships under Coach Elmer Engel. I'm most proud of the overall record of 31-2-2 my 4 years of playing football at Bay City Central, culminating in a Class A football state championship my senior year. As Mike said, in 1972, the 8th game against Flint Northern went ahead on an 81-yard touchdown run. With 1:26 seconds left, Kevin Nixon, as Ned Clanky, reminded me that it was what do they call it, Ned? R40 peel pass, which is an option pass play. Kevin tossed the pass to me for the tying touchdown. Mark Larson is no longer with us, kicked the extra point. We won 21-20. This victory placed us at 8-0, leaving us one game away from state championship title. To all my teammates, Ned, Greg, Harry, and Johnny that are here with me this evening, we had the same dream of winning and becoming state champions. All of us knew that we had the talent, but we had to go on the field and prove it every week. When it came to putting the pads on, we put everything aside and we went out on the field to become number one, and we did just that. Coach Meath placed me on the varsity team as a freshman. I played all 4 years, in 72 and 73, my junior and senior years in basketball. I was voted on all Valley team leagues. In my senior year, I made honorable mention All-State honors and set a new central scoring record. In the same year, I was number 2 in the county scoring honors, second to All-State's John Pike. I competed in track for 4 years. I set central track records and invitational track meet records in both in shot put and a 440-yard relay. Thanks to all our coaches, Engel, Fitzgerald, Frieders, Keener, Loop, Meath, Mr. Nixon, and Toyzan, they coached us to a high standard of winning, and that was our goal. It was ingrained in us throughout our high school career. No matter what seasonal sport we participated in, we played to win. They instilled in us a drive and focus to accomplish our future life endeavors, to dream big, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. A special thank you goes out to the late, brilliant athletic trainer, Mr. Walt Kanicki. He kept us all healthy and ready to compete on a weekly schedule, and he also put me back together after my sophomore year when my knee got destroyed. I came back, Mrs. Kanicki, Walt put me back together. Thank you. In college football, I was recruited by and played against a who's who list of all-time great coaches. Schembeckler, Hayes, Parsegian, Osborne, McKay, and Agassi. My mother always preached the importance of an education. I chose Purdue, being a perfect fit for academics and athletics. Coach Agassi was the only head coach that would allow me to walk on and try out for the Purdue basketball team. I never had the chance, as an elbow injury eliminated me the opportunity to play basketball. I have 3 highlights that stand out in my Purdue football career. In '74, Purdue beat number 2 rated Notre Dame 31-20 on their home field in South Bend. In '75, playing the 3rd ranked Southern California Trojans in the Coliseum. One of my career highlights was a pass I caught against USC, and it was the only Purdue touchdown scored in this game. In 1976, like Mike said, Purdue delivered the most surprising upset of '76, shocking number 1 rated Michigan with a score of 16-14 before a sold-out crowd at Ross-Ade Stadium, Purdue's home field. This marked the first time that Purdue beat Michigan since 1966. I played against some great collegiate All-American athletes. Ross Browner of Notre Dame, Bob Brzezinski, Ohio State, Gary Jeter of USC, Kelvin O'Neill of University of Michigan, just to name a few. In my senior year, I earned honorable mention, All Big Ten. Purdue was a stepping stone for my professional career. After suffering a knee injury during spring football my sophomore year, I knew that the next level of pro football was not in the cards. I continued to play football at a high level for the next 2 years at Purdue's tight end, but now getting education was important. I chose a food service career, graduating from Purdue with a degree in restaurant, hotel, and institutional management. I left restaurant operations and began a 15 senior sales management career at Cisco Foods. At age 48, I was ready for a new challenge. My wife and I opened a restaurant as owner-operators of our own business. We opened a 200-seat fine dining restaurant in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. We operated the restaurant for 10 years and sold it in 2012. At that time, we were able to retire and now live in Florida. Now you say, what does this all mean? To me, it's a true testament that athletics and education creates opportunities. Opportunities to fulfill your dreams. Taking a risk with something that is difficult is definitely worth doing. Colleges are impressed by students with leadership skills. It's important to participate in extracurricular activities, whether it be sports or academics. So dreams can be reached, goals accomplished, for one to make a difference in today's society. I have one shout out this evening, a special thank you to to Mr. Tom Beard and Nancy Powers, and the many coaches and volunteers. They work hard to ensure the continuation of the annual Dennis Rogowski Free Football Camp to the youth of Bay County. Also to the Dow Bay Area YMCA and the Bay City School Board of Education. Thank you for your support. We couldn't do without you. Visit our website and check it out, DennisRogowskiFootballCamp.com. I enjoy returning to Bay City to reconnect with teammates, classmates, and friends, getting together to share great moments from years past. Lastly, thank you to the Bay City, Bay County Sports Hall of Fame for this great honor tonight. I'm proud to be from Bay City, and it's always home for myself and my wife. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could all stand up, I'd like to give these three teams in this group of inductees one more standing ovation. That is the end of our program. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you next year for year number 29. Thank you, travel safe, and thanks again for your support.